Wonderful. Yeah. So should we
And we're
start with the
recording.
recording?
We are recording.
Yes. Wonderful.
Hello, everyone, and
Awesome.
welcome to the free Zoom call to Conversations of Money and Business. Yay! Um,
Yay!
First of all, Mom and I would really like to thank all the facilitators for hopping on and joining us in this journey of money, business, and infinite possibilities. I wonder what is possible now. I remember Mom and I were sitting on the bed
Yeah.
chatting one evening, like we do always. And we were discussing how much our realities are so different, hers and mine. And I really did not know very much about money before I came into Access. I knew it existed, but money and me never really went very well together where creation was concerned. And
Yeah, probably if I can come here, I was also trying to protect you from the bad world of money.
bad
Keeping you
world of
away from
money.
it, being a good mother.
Yeah, until we got introduced to the tools of Access, and that completely changed everything for us. And we thought, why not create something, a platform where we can invite the world to seeing that money and business doesn't have to be as evil as it's made out to be. And we are so honored to have so many different facilitators from around the world join us and invite so many different beautiful people to the possibilities that await us. So we'd like to welcome Crystal. Hello, Crystal. And we have
Hey, how are
Doris.
you?
Hi, Doris. We have
Hello.
Sarah.
Hi, guys.
Hi. We have Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Hi, Nadia.
Hi.
It's so good to see you again. Oh my God, we met at the right body few facilitators. It's so cool to see you here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so cool to create with you.
Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, and here are our beautiful facilitators for today.
And we do have more who are, a few of them are in classes right now and they couldn't join us, but they are very much here energetically.
Yes.
And that includes, I think Cassie's joining us. Sarah, is she? She said she would be on, but as she's got to go to school to pick up her kids, she would be on.
Just a drop off and then she'll be on.
Drop off. Yeah. Great. Yes. And yeah, we have Dr. Anthony, who's in a class right now. And we have Diva, who's also busy hosting Brendan at the moment. So, well, you do have the rest of us.
So
talking about money and business.
We were thinking, why not get everyone together and ask everyone what their journey with money and business has been so far? Mom, do you want to share what your money and business journey has been, and then we can ask everyone?
You want to go with me first? I thought I would go last. Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so money and business. Well, where should I start? Without going into the story of it, I've had my days of having a lot of it, and I also have had the days of wondering if I would ever have it again. Wondering if that space was ever really available to me. Wondering if all those dreams that I had, or what I would be able to create and have and give my kids, which was such a big thing for me, literally give my kids, be able to be the good mom who could give her kids everything that I wanted to back then, and all of it which actually required all the money. And having come from the space of never thought I would ever have the lack, and suddenly having the lack, it was, if I can say, it was almost like I was thrown out into the wilderness, told to go survive, go manage, go do what you have to. And I had days of when I was really miserable with the fact that I will never be able to get out of this. And this is something to do with my karmas. You know, in India, how much we have that story of our karmas. And I went into that space of it had something to do with me not being a good enough wife, of me not being a good enough daughter, a daughter-in-law, a mom, something to do with my past lives, which is why I have this money problem today and why I have this business problem today. And I remember there was this instant when, when I got introduced to the tools of access the first time, and when someone said the bars, and I was like, yeah, I'll do the bars class. It's not that expensive. When I heard the price of the foundation, I remember my reaction was, are you crazy? You really think I'm such a fool that I'm going to give you whatever bit of money I have left? That was literally my reaction. And when I was asked a simple question, it was like, what if money wasn't really the issue? What would you choose then? And I remember that space, even now, when I look at that, I'm like, is that even a possibility? Like, and back then it wasn't for me. It really wasn't. It was just not possible. And well, things changed, right? I mean, my situation today is just so different. Money isn't a problem. Money is not a problem. And it's not about the amount of money I have. It's something that I know that I can be to change any reality with just a choice. And it's just that simple. And that's what I would like to bring out into the world, of letting people know that it's just the choice of having money and of being money that can actually change your entire reality. Yeah, so I tried to make it really short. I hope I didn't go into a very long story about it. Yeah. Who's
No, it
next?
wasn't. It was lovely. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And I love how everyone's journeys are so different and everyone's points of views on money are so different. Crystal, would you like to share something about?
Yeah, I know. I was looking at, where do I even start? Access consciousness for me has been the gift to my money and business reality, because I grew up, I mean, my family didn't grow up with money. So, you know, we were always broke. My parents always argued and fought violently around money. That was the topic around which all the abuse happened. So it was a very ingrained into my cellular structure that money was hard. And so I just sort of functioned from that, not sort of, dynamically functioned from that. Money is hard. There's a ceiling. If I'm going to go past that ceiling, then I have to go do all the things and get a degree and all that stuff they tell you have to do, which I didn't want to do. So I was fucked. And when I found Access Consciousness, I wanted to go and do all the things. Like, I wanted to go do all the classes and like become a certified facilitator and, you know, do all the things. And I did not know how to do that. And I remember somebody saying to me, which was so annoying at the time, well, just choose it. And I was like, what the fuck? Just choose it. So I just tried it. I'm like, well, I'm going to that. I'm going to that class right there. I'm going to that. And what started to occur in my world was this creative and generative energy that began to create and generate in ways that I couldn't explain to anybody. In fact, somebody ended up gifting me a big chunk of money to become a facilitator. I didn't know that could show up. And then money showed up in all these other ways, and all the things that occur when you actually just choose something. And so that was the very beginning of, what's been a really incredible adventure over the last 5 years for me, of creating my life, or not creating my life, or then creating it again, or stopping, like the way that it goes, where, it's never always this, it's sometimes this and this and this, but it's a general upward trend, So, I mean, if I were to, I could say so much more about that, but the creation of anything different in your life, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's money or business or your body, starts with the choice to have it. And you never know how that, there is no how, actually. And in fact, the universe is so surprising. And that's one of the things I think that's changed the most for me, is being willing to actually ask and then receive in ways that I can't define or articulate or cognitize. And I'm always surprised. I think that's the fun part about being an infinite being is that you kind of always get to be in love. You know, it's like you get to, if you're willing, like you get to actually choose and ask and create, and you're on this constant adventure if you want it to be that. So for me, the biggest game changer with money has been the How to Become Money workbook. I can't talk about that enough. Like doing that workbook every single 2 weeks changes everything. So if you guys haven't picked that up, and I had it for years and never actually opened it, I highly, 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 highly recommend that. And then business is just like, what do you want to create in the world? You know, one of the things that Shannon O'Hara asked us in a class I took with her recently is, what did you become aware of when you first found Access Consciousness? What was that energy for you? Like, what was, you know, and so I started to look at that, and I was already probably 2 to 3 years into my Access business the way it is now. And I was like, wow, there was all of this energy there. And that empowered me to create from a space that was personal to me, something I knew, something that was what I knew, what I could be in the world, what I had the ability to choose. And from there, I just started looking at, well, if I were succeeding with this, what would that be like? You know? And that's the coolest thing about these tools and questions is you get to, if you're willing to sort of start to let go of all your points of view, really, but especially the ones that you find are pinning you in place with not choosing, and you go, well, if I just had no point of view about this, what would I choose? You start to discover what's really true for you. And that's the constant adventure that I'm on with business and money.
I love that, and I add to that. And Chandana, and Aisha, you don't need to pick someone. I love what you said, Crystal, with also the How to Become Money workbook. I'm just into this 6-month adventure. Like I was like, I've done it over and over, but not on this period of like a longer time and every second week. And I'm in the first month and I just love it. It already changes a lot. So like listening to you, I was wondering, when did it start for me with money and looking at this topic? I would say it was when I got my kids, where I was like, this doesn't work for me. That it was the first time that I felt dependent on someone with money. And I was like, no, this doesn't work for me. And I really would like to have another life and living for all of us. And when I look back, it was always like I was longing for another life, like the bigger, whatever it is. And it was always this going to work. And at the end of the month, I knew this is what come into my life and this is what I have. And then you work the whole month again to get this amount of money. And having the Access Consciousness tools and these conversations changed so much for me. I'm like, no one ever told me that, no one ever showed me. And now there's so much possible. And beyond money, you know, it's not like, yes, it is that we like to have, or I'd like to have more money, and I'm looking at that as well, but really seeing that we have the conversations with the Access Consciousness tools. It's all about what life do you want to create? So what do you want to like do every day? Like that it's not so focused on the money, that it's focused on what's joyful for you. What do you like? What people do you want to spend time with? Because all of this is creating a lot. For me right now, I changed my place where I'm living. This is my second day in my new home. And it's also around money in a way. And it's already creating a lot. And seeing that the other place, I'm so grateful for the other place. And the time was already, like for what I'm asking for, it was not working anymore. And so there are a lot of things that we can talk and dive into in the conversations we will have in the next weeks. And I'd like to invite you to just open up, and it's, for me, it's the honesty of looking what is right now and also acknowledging what is right now, because most of the time there is more that you think that you have created. And when you start from there and really look at what have I already created, what is it I'm aware of and I'm capable of, and starting from that, seeing Andrew here, it's so fun because over 1 year, we were in Australia, and so I put all my money to go there, and then we were together in a class, and we paired up, and then it was like we needed to talk about something, and I would sit there, I was like opening up, like, oh my God, I have this money problem, and Andrew was like, I don't know what you said, but he was like, yeah, whatever. And I tell you something, I was there in a way with no money, and then someone offered me something, and the next day I created $1,000 from the beginning was joy. I'm like, oh my God, I can do this? Okay, yeah, cool, let's create it. And it was not at all about money, and this was the moment where I was like, this was easy, what else is possible? So, and it's so cool to have someone. And first it was and like not that comfortable moment, like the conversation with Andrew, but it's like if we ourselves don't buy into our stories and no one else around us, it's more easy to change, and even if it's uncomfortable. So it's a little bit of my side, and thank you so much for having this conversation, all of you today being here. And I really wonder what else is possible if we ask for it.
That's so exciting. You mean Andrew said one thing to you and you created money overnight? Andrew,
No,
what did you say to her?
He was like, give me another topic. This is boring. Like, this is not working somehow like this. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
That's the gift of no point of view. Andrew is so good at that.
He probably wedgied her. That's what he probably did. We can't hear you, Andrew.
Andrew.
Oh, there we go. It's working now. I probably did wedgie her. I think I said, you're right, you're poor or something. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. I always like it when people say, you said this thing to me like 3 years ago, and I was like, really, I did. What did I say? And they're like, I don't remember. And I was like, I don't remember either. I don't even remember saying it to you. So.
Andrew, what's your business and money story?
I think for me, it was like what changed in Access is like how to actually create your business, and just like the idea of having questions and stuff. Because I graduated from chiropractic school not really having, like five or six, maybe 6 years ago now. And I didn't really have any kind of business experience, or quote unquote what I thought was business experience. But the great thing about Access is, you have these questions, and it's like if you start asking, okay, what do I really know about business, and what do I really know about money, and stuff just starts showing up, and you start actually getting to acknowledge, you're like, oh wait, I actually know something about business. Oh wait, I actually know these things, and it might not be what other people know or how other people run their business, but the great thing is, when you work for yourself, you can run it however you want to run it. So I think that the tools really helped me get to see, okay, what actually works for, just all the questions, because you can ask, okay, what actually works for me here, or what works for the business here. And it doesn't have to be this idea of, let me number crunch and let me look at all of this stuff out. You can just ask questions and actually get the energy of what's going to create more and go with it. So I think part of it was just the acknowledgement of, oh, I know things about business and money. And the other thing is, you have these tools that actually get you to empower you to see more and to create more with your business. Anyone else? No?
I'll go. The handoff, the awkward handoff. First of all, what I would like to do is acknowledge all of you who are on here and chose to actually register for something about money, because it's often that like thing that nobody wants to look at, nobody wants to talk about. Thank you, ladies, for creating it. And if we could just take a second for all of you to really look at the fact that you're asking questions, you're showing up, and you're being present with this energy and looking for other tools. And I'm so grateful to be playing with these fabulous facilitators who are dynamically creating. and we all have our own stories, and we'll all bring our own flavor to all of this. My story is very interesting because, not that yours weren't. Yours were all very interesting as well. I grew up where money was very much like Crystal. Like it was like either we had a lot or we had none, and there was like total chaos. And it was like the reason everything bad happened. And so I went through life like desiring it, and then being like, but if I have it in my world, like, will everything fall apart? Will it just be about that? Will the things that I enjoy so much be like tainted in a way or something? There was something like swirling in my world. And so what I would do is I would create an amount that was comfortable, and then I would figure out a way to have it crash. And then I would, do that roller coaster thing a lot. And one of the things that I just like realized in a facilitation with someone else was how much I was using money to stay connected to the people who would rescue me. So whenever I would crash down, I would have something to call. I would call Dane about it, and I would be like, hey, this happened. And he'd be like, oh, here. And I'd be like, okay, cool. And we would have this connection point with my crash. And so with that, like I was on a call the other day, and a bunch of people were like, whoa, because they started to see where they like call mom or call dad or call auntie or whatever. And then how that was actually the energy of keeping that relationship alive, or keeping that, and that relationship couldn't even grow past whatever they were willing to receive. So about 3 years ago, I woke up one morning, and this is a little bit of a vulnerable story, but I woke up one morning to an email from my husband, who at the time I didn't even know he had an email. And he said, by the way, all of our accounts are in the red and all of our credit cards behind, and we have nothing. And here I like owned my own business, and was running a salon and handing everything over to someone else because I bought a point of view that I came from money problems, and my husband's family was very like frugal and lived like well below their means. And so I bought that he was better than me at money. So I'd just hand him, and he would handle everything. And he got behind, and he got behind deep. He went into like, not to make him wrong, because he's changed a shit ton with access tools too, and we're creating a lot. But that crash at that moment was the time where I like finally made a demand with money. And I was like, no more. No one else is driving my money bus. No one else is driving my future bus. I have to be the one to create it. And when I started to ask questions and actually look at that, I was like, wow, I have a huge capacity with money. And I started to look back over my life of all the things I've never acknowledged that I've created with money, and acknowledge them, like literally go back in time and be like, oh, I created that. Oh, I created that. When we bought a house prior to this, I created the down payment because I started saving little things on the side. And I was like, oh, I have this money here. Maybe we could buy a house now. And he's like, what? So it was like going through and acknowledging that. I was like, wait a minute, where am I not acknowledging me in this creation, and just handing it off, or buying that? That's being a good wife, to be like, here, husband, take care of everything. And so when I stepped up, everything started to change. And at that moment in time, I also called Dane and said, hey, this is what's going on, and I'm not letting you fix it. And it was like a really crazy, crunchy growth period, because what he wants to do is care for me and take care of it, right? And so we actually got to expand and grow, and he got to contribute totally differently. That wasn't financial, but was totally just the space of like, I know you got this. And from that point on, it was like in a matter of 3 months using the tools, I went back into the money workbook that had been there for so long and just sitting there collecting dust. Did that. And in 3 months, I had gone from everything in the red, every credit card behind, house payment behind. Like, when I say everything, I mean, I had like people donating food to my family. I mean, for real. And in 3 months, I took over the bills. I put him on, like I said, I got this. And in 3 months, had like $3,000 in savings, and everything was in the green. And it was like, that's fucking possible. Like, if I can do it from that deficit and create and just be asking for more and being in the question and using these tools, like, what the fuck else is possible? And so then after that, I remember calling him and being like, you won't believe this, but there's this amount of money, and this is happening, this is happening. And Dane goes, are you ready to be a facilitator now? And I was like, whoa, like, hold your pants, big guy, because like, who am I to talk about this? He's like, look what you just created. And so that's why I wanted to start out my little spiel here with like really acknowledging you guys, because it really was that acknowledgement of what I had created. and what I had chosen. And so if you guys are here and you're going to join this series with all these magical people, you being some of the magical people as well, what all can we create together when we acknowledge each other and acknowledge the choice to just fucking be here and look at it? Because that space of acknowledgement and not constantly looking yourself as wrong with money or not being able to get it right, or hiding the fact that someone contributes to you all the time, or like all the vulnerable places and squeaky parts, we can just go, hey, I'm here now, I'm present, I'm asking questions, I'm looking to other people to inspire me, I'm ready to change this thing, then we can change anything together. But that has to include you. So I just would love to invite you all to just get that you are a gift and that you can change this, and even if it's not something that's horrible and you need to change it, you just want more, that's okay too. I didn't know that was okay. I literally thought, I own a business and own a home, I should just be happy here. And there's so much more. So I'm so excited to be here, you guys. And I'm so grateful for all the rest of the CFs that are playing, because you guys are so yummy. And what else is possible? Next.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That was just so wonderful. I'm signing up for this series. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I think Nadia unmuted herself to speak, so I will let her go.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here and super excited about everything that we are already creating. And thank you, Sarah, for mentioning this about acknowledgement. This was also a huge part in my life and in my world, because I had no experiences with creating money or business, because I started Access at 17, when I was 17 years old. And I was growing up in a family where we all the time just have enough money, like just we were surviving. And I was like, okay, what else? Well, and only if I want to thrive and create in this world. And I'm so grateful for all the tools we have, which are available to all of us. And actually the possibility that we can create money and our life based on our knowing and the way that it works for us. So yeah, and also like when we have those kind of generative conversations, we are already creating so much. It's like in this, like it's rare that you can go with someone and just talk about what you can create in the world or about the possibilities. And this is like what I love the most with using access tools and having those kind of conversations, which are like really beyond everything that we have maybe ever seen. So I am so looking forward to these calls and like to this online class we are having together. And I'm so grateful that I have the possibility to be here with you. And it's like, yeah, really, what else is possible with money, and how can we what can we change and create, and like what do we want have any money problems anymore. And it's like, for me, I created a lot. I mean, I created everything on my own, even financially. And I just created that life. Like, it's like you never get to the place where you will be just satisfied, because it's always growing. It's always continuously like you are seeing possibilities that you weren't able to see before. So it's like when I get to the place where I acknowledge, okay, I can create my life also financially, when I really receive that, everything started changing. Because before, I all the time feel like a crap, like I feel that I cannot create anything, because I wasn't willing to look at my financial situation. And like, really, what if there is, like, what if we can change everything with ease, and how much fun can we have creating our lives and money? So yeah, that's it from me.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that. And I have to thank you guys for being willing to, one thing I really appreciate about Access Facilitators is that everyone is so vulnerable. Oftentimes, so many people look at one another thinking that they're perfect and that they have it all together. But hearing it come from Access facilitators that they too had to use the tools and they continue using the tools to change every situation that may show up as a challenge is a completely different possibility. I remember like my story was that growing up in India, I was never told that I had to create money for my own, like myself. I was always dependent on my parents. So I entered Access and I saw this whole different world and a whole new reality where I didn't have to be dependent on anyone for money or business. And like we started off saying that money isn't bad and business isn't wrong. And yeah, it's just a very, very beautiful reality when you get to see, especially that space where money is just energy and you are energy and everything is just one. And that's one of my favorite tools about money, where you get to learn that money and you are not separate. And Cassie just joined us. Hi, Cassie.
Hi. Sorry, I'm driving. Hi. Excited to be here.
Hello. We're excited to have you here. We were just talking and sharing our journeys about money and business. Would you like to share something about how Access tools help you change something about your money situation?
Yes, I can. Sorry, multitasking. Driving in a school zone, trying not to hit kids, talking about business. Yes, please. My Access tools change money business. Well, money giant, like so many changes. One, even just the concept of paying for the classes that are not always cheap was a big stretch for me. That was not something I was willing to invest in for myself. So I often use justifications to try and to choose more. And when my justifications kind of fell away, I still had this desire to choose more and to choose more. So Access kind of tricked me into choosing a lot more space with money for myself and being willing to invest in myself. And as far as business, like I've always been drawn to business. I actually took business courses in college and university, and I found it really fascinating, but very lacking in what I knew was possible. And so with Access, the Access tools, the Joy Business tools, and actually all the specialties really can contribute to your business. The Right Body for You tools, they have shown me so many massive possibilities with business. I've been able to invite my body to help create my business with me. I've met an amazing business partner, Sarah Grenade. I don't know if she's on here. Her and I
am on here.
Yay!
Hi.
I mean, what we've been hi. What you and I do with the tools, I just have never seen any, like, I feel so lucky that we have the tools to play with and that we're able to ask for things to be greater, to go beyond this reality and just do something totally different with business. I don't know if I answered your question, but there you go.
I would like to share, Isha, I would like to share. Today, I had this money workbook workshop in Ahmedabad. And when I look back, I have come from a point of that metaphysical stuff that I did, and I was not earning a single penny, being a single mother. It was so difficult to meet my expenses and Access. I think I was one of the most skeptical person to enter Access. I was like, oh my God, this is so expensive. Even the bars class for me, well, Chandna said it was the foundation class for me. The bars class was also like, this is too much. And that was years back when I'm talking about it. And today, having said that, I took my time. There's a lot, I see a lot of people who have money problems, have a lot of resistance in stepping up. And I had this book, Money Workbook, in 2014, but I did not open the book. Even though I knew that, okay, things would change. I would sleep when I would open the book. I mean, there was so much of resistance. And today, if you look at it, when I look back, and things have become so easy. Access tools are magical. You can create whatever you desire to create. It's I mean, and then you can empower people, because when they see you as an inspiration, it becomes amazing. It's like, but I'm doing it for myself. They take you as an inspiration that, well, you could do it, so could I. It's amazing. I mean, my money reality shifted. I've taken up, I mean, I could visit countries which I never thought that I would, because first day I was seeing the foundation facilitator. I'm like, wow, could I be that ever? You know, one of the facilitators, I mean, when I see other facilitators, they just so, the kind of energy they have, it's so yummy. I mean, I always desired to have that. And now I have it too. It's amazing. So coming from Ahmedabad, yeah. It's still opening up. People are still not stepping up the way they should probably be stepping up, but they are, at least, whatever little.
And you are such a beautiful invitation, Kavita, to everybody in Ahmedabad and everybody around too. That's for sure.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So any questions, friends? I mean, these were all our beautiful facilitators on.
I would love to add something, if that's okay. Can I go twice?
Please. Oh, you can go thrice, honey.
Well, I just heard, listening to Isha, you said something really brilliant, where we look at the vulnerability of CFs, right? And like, I just wanted to invite everybody on here to not make anybody greater than you ever. So when you're hearing these stories, like, let them inspire you, but don't ever let them be so distant from you, or you put them like so far out of reach, because one of the things that I've been aware of, like, dynamically with money and all of facilitation and being in access, is that as soon as you make someone greater than you, you can't receive as much from them. And you create a distance and a separation, because obviously making them greater puts them up here, and the distance is now there, the separation is now there. And so if you can, if you choose this call, like, really choose to, like, maybe look at lowering your walls and barriers, and just getting that, like, no one here is greater. And the reason that we chose to be access facilitators is because probably something wasn't working, which means we probably didn't already have it right. And so the tools actually gave us the ability to even, so the tools is what gave us the ability to even choose becoming a CF. And so it really is an invitation to everybody on here to look at that stuff, but don't look at it from the place that someone has it right, or they're better, or they're greater than you, because really the way to change this is to really acknowledge the greatness of you, and acknowledge it from, like, beyond this reality. Like, if you had to acknowledge that you are fucking phenomenal with money, and that you've just been lying to your ass your whole life, and that you bought this shit from somewhere else. I'm throwing all the curse words in and being completely irreverent right now, but that you, like, thanks, that you bought that you have to have a money problem to fit into this reality. You bought that you have to have a money problem to know who you be, even. There's so much with that there. And if you come into this call thinking that you're going to come find the right answer, if you're aware that there is something to change, you actually have also equally the awareness of how to change it. And that to me, when I heard that for the first time, I was like, whoa. Like, so if I have a question, I also have the awareness of that question will change it, like that they both live in me. So I'm asking the question because somewhere I've hidden the awareness in my world on how to change it. And if you could ask me a question back, facilitator, I might be able to find it and change this thing. And that's really what facilitation is. It's people being willing to ask you a question so that you can get to your knowing. And so if we're looking at this call about money and creation and all this, like, what if it's just showing up and having some fun people ask you questions to get to your knowing, your potency, your power with money? I just wanted to throw that out there before we go, because you guys are all phenomenal for even choosing it. Because I know in the depths of my money despair, I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Don't ask me a question. It was definitely something that I would be hiding from the world and keeping up the like pretense of what I wanted everybody to judge me as, which was somebody who had it together. And as soon as I became a CF, I was like, whoa, this is not what this is about. This is about being vulnerable and letting all our warts hang out, and you know what I mean? And just be like, hey, like, this is what I know. What do you know? And I know, like, Cassie and I will get on calls and we'll both get off and go, what just happened? Because someone had this huge breakthrough on a call. And instead of going, oh my gosh, I did that, it's like, I contributed that change for both of us, because there's something that broke open in me too, because we're here together. So just know that you guys are all part of this creation. And this isn't about, I mean, in my interesting point of view, and I get that the other CS are with me. And if you're not, like, tell me later. Don't tell me right now, but because you'll burst my bubble. But that we're all just here to like have a good time, and also receive from you guys, like what you know, what questions you ask are going to make our stuff, our money stuff, change too. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody like got that before we go, because I'm just super grateful. And you're welcome. Thank you. Little notes in the chat. That makes me happy. Okay. And Cassie,
Wow.
you have a face now.
I do. I have a face. I'm out of the car. I'm home.
And a very pretty one at that.
Aw, thank you. So do you, gorgeous woman.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, this is just so wonderful. Thank you, Sarah, for that. I mean, that was brilliant. I am definitely signing on for this call, for all the 10 calls with 12 facilitators. I mean, why would you not choose it? There had to be something wrong with your choices. Wrong, right? If you wouldn't choose this call. So probably it's because you don't want enough money, or you don't want more money. You probably are not looking to have greater money or have ease with receiving money. Probably.
You know, you brought up choice. Could I just say something now that I'm not driving and scared?
Please.
I was just at a Choice of Possibilities class in Vancouver, and I'm looking at choice, like talking about choosing, I'm looking at choice in a totally different way. I was actually really reminded of the power of choice, and where choice actually does, like light and heavy doesn't actually equal right and wrong. And like choosing the right thing or the wrong thing, light doesn't mean right, heavy doesn't mean wrong. It's actually every choice you make should match the future that you're desiring. So you get a sense of the future you're desiring, the business you're desiring, the money you're desiring, the ease you're desiring. And when you're choosing the lightness, it's just because it matches that. It doesn't mean it's right. And it doesn't mean it's wrong if you don't. And so Sarah and I actually, we've had some really cool conversations lately about our business. And because we both went to big classes, we both changed so much. And now like we're looking at all these aspects of our business differently, because you kind of have to, because as you change, your business there's so much more available for it. And so now we're looking at like, okay, wow, if we weren't choosing from like, this is the right thing for our business or this is the wrong thing, does this match what we're asking for? Does this choice match what we're asking to show up in our business? If it's light, then we're like, let's do it, even if it makes no sense. Let's go for it. So I would invite all of you to look at that for this series as well. So does part of this match, does any of this match what you've been asking to show up for you, for your life, for your business, for your money? And what if you could choose from like that space of possibility?
Yeah.
Cowboy?
Sound effect.
You
When
see,
there's silence, you just do a weird sound effect. It breaks everything up. It's like the same statement, but different.
I wish people were muted so I could have heard them giggle at your yeehaw.
I'm sure they're all laughing hysterically.
totally,
I
totally.
am.
Oh, what if money could be fun and light and you could laugh your ass off about all the silly things you projected at it, and you could get out a conclusion just by laughing? I mean, I don't know.
And
It could be. Or it could just have to be totally serious.
and probably not make money any longer heavy, right? Or serious business.
And imagine if we keep laughing at our barriers, that would make things so easy.
I
yeah,
love
right.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a fun conversation. I cannot wait for the class that starts on the 15th of next month.
And I'm so grateful for you, Powerhouses, for putting this together. Like, thank you so much. I'm really, really excited about this, and I'm really grateful. You're
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Thank
This
you,
is
sweetheart. Thank you for being on. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's absolutely fabulous. And I wonder how, I wonder what all of this can create in the world for each one of us across the world. Yeah. If money is energy and we are all energy, then what the fuck is keeping us away from it? Right?
and the funnest part is that
From having it.
the funnest part is that there are different people from different religions, cultures, nationalities that are choosing beyond all of that. And what if money was not, what if we all have so many points of views based on our cultures, religions, genders. And what if it's time to go beyond all of that now?
Yes, there's a question in the chat, or someone's asking to ask a question. Is that appropriate right now? Can we answer a question?
Ramya, would you like to
Ramya,
join
you
our
can
call?
ask the
Or?
question. Yeah, Ramya?
Yeah, hi. Can you see me?
Hi. Yes, we can.
Okay. So I have a question, and this is for all the facilitators and everyone. So one of the things that intrigues me about money, which I've been asking for, is ease with money. And I guess my question is, in each of your journeys of creating ease with money, did you come through stages where you actually had way less money than you had earlier, but you felt easier with money? Because I don't know, this sounds maybe even weird, but I have this fantasy of, could I actually have way less money than I have now, but actually feel very easy about not having money? And has that happened? Like, does anyone want to talk about that? Or
If I can go first, Ramya. Yeah, I mean, sorry, Cassie, go first, darling.
You go first. You go first.
Well, for me, there's just been so much ease with the money, without the money. It's just ease. It's never really important any longer because there's just ease. I don't even know how to explain that ease and that space. There's no longer stress about my mounting bills or the payments that I have to make. That's never really a problem.
Can I
Yeah,
also add
Cassie.
something real? Sorry, go ahead, Cassie.
Yeah.
Go, Isha. Go.
Okay, if I can add something real quick over here, that before, at least, I mean, for me personally, before Access, I was not aware that my points of view were creating my reality. And now if there's a money, quote unquote, problem showing up, I can see it and I'm aware that probably I'm choosing to stick to a certain point of view that is allowing that to stay in existence. And now I can see it. And like I said, laugh at the barrier and be an interesting point of view. And just being willing to be an interesting point of view has changed a lot for me. And it's just being willing to take 2 more steps and going beyond and breaking the barriers. Never give up, never give in, and never quit. That's worked for me. And it does still show up, but I'm just willing to look at the point of view that creates that now and change it.
Yeah, and I'll share my story a little bit. So I came from a massive amount of lack. I grew up really, really poor, and then I was married to a man that liked to drain our money. And so when I started Access, like, it was money was not ease in any way, shape, or form. And as I started going along my Access journey and applying the Access tools, the ease started to show up. And yeah, things would roller coaster. I would start to have this sense of space and ease with like all this money available, and then I'd be back down, and I would notice that roller coaster showing up and asking questions. And the ease is like what you're touching on, and what I get that you're actually aware of is this space of, if you have it or don't have it, what does it take to just have ease with it, to not make it significant, to not beat yourself up with it? And is this something that you don't have already?
So the thing I don't have now is lack. I have a lot of money, but
Right.
But I feel like I feel worried.
I love that.
Having less, right?
Is that yours?
No, but I'd like greater ease with it. So.
She wants to create ease so that she can facilitate whoever it actually is.
Okay, awesome.
Could you say that again, Sarah?
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. And I get Cassie had another follow-up question. I just, in the peanut gallery, sometimes I just make jokes just to keep things light. But I said that it's not yours, it's someone else's, but why don't you get the facilitation so that you can go facilitate whoever it is. So go ahead, Cass.
Well, I mean, if you're already aware of it, then you can facilitate it. You're already aware of the possibility of ease, so you just have to ask someone questions to get them to the space of what's ease for them, right? Yeah. Okay. And how cool is it to acknowledge that? How many of us are buying that we don't have ease with money when we actually do?
Ooh, thank you. Yeah.
Can we pod that?
I was just gonna say, are we allowed to pod that? Everything that is.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all night, shorts, wasn't months.
Thanks.
I just snuck it in.
Yeah. Thanks a ton. Yeah, it's not mine. And wow, okay.
Are there any other questions?
This is fun. I think we're ready to roll. Like, we're ready to rock on this.
Absolutely. Totally. Oh my God.
Do you ladies want to tell everybody like how it's going to go? Because we're not all going to be on it at this. Yeah.
Yes,
like,
absolutely. Isha, do you want to go ahead with that, darling?
Yes. So we start on the 15th of March. It's once a week, every week. And we start with Dr. Anthony Matters. And yeah, and the lineup, I will send you all in the follow-up email, and you can read it with that. With the recordings, it's going to be there.
Yeah. And it's going to be once a week. And actually, so it's on the 15th of March,
15th of March.
Dr. Anthony Mattis and Chandana Baba. 22nd of March, Chandana Baba and Isha Baba. 29th of March is Doris and Isha. And 5th of April is Smriti Goswami and Chandana. So you see, you have an overload of Isha and me, as you can tell. And the 19th of April is Diva Dias and Chandana. 26th is Dr. Andrew Gardella and Isha. 3rd May is Anita Luce and Chandana. And 10th of May is Sarah Grandinetti and Casey and Isha. And 17th May is Crystal and Chandana. So that's it. And yes, and we are excited. And this ends on the 17th of May. So there are going to be 10 calls, guys, of an hour and a half each, with each facilitator sharing some yummy tools and some yummy stuff that only they know. And they are telling. What do you know? They are telling this time. So get ready with your questions, and they will be ready with asking you more questions. And probably that could change something. So yeah, we will be setting out
where do they go to register?
Yeah, I was just going to I was just
Oh.
going to quickly add that.
Yeah.
We will be sending out the registration links with the recording of this to your email IDs, along with the lineup. So you can go ahead and register over there along with the PayPal email ID. And if you guys require a bank transfer, I will send in that detail as well. The bank transfer details. Yes. You're on mute, Mom. I can hear.
Oh,
I
sorry.
can see your
So
lips.
I said that it could be the PayPal link or the bank transfer, right? Whatever
Yeah.
works. Because
Yeah.
I know in India, a lot of people prefer the bank transfers.
Yes.
And we have Raseshwari. You can get in touch with her for more information. We have awesome Reshma, who's handling almost everything for us, back end and otherwise. And you can get in touch with her. And Vani from America. And we have, and I'm not sure of who we have from Czechoslovakia. I think Anita has somebody who's, so you can just reach out, guys, and get in touch and register. Or else there's no one going to be there to listen to your stories anymore, okay? Just keep your stories.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Andrew, although we don't get to see your face anymore. And thank you, all you beautiful friends who joined us.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Love you guys. Bye.